Welcome to this explainer. Look, think of me as your senior consultant for today's briefing because we are diving into a massive, frankly, thrilling transformation happening right now in the world of discovery. For a long time, we've kind of just viewed artificial intelligence as another handy tool, like a slightly faster calculator or a better search engine. But we are officially way past that point. We're experiencing a true paradigm shift where AI is no longer just a tool, it's becoming a foundational research methodology in its own right. We're literally rethinking the entire architecture of how we investigate the world.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit the methodology mismatch, AI native paradigm shifts, 4 new methodologies, the rigor requirement, and finally wrap up with the future researcher. Let's get right into it. It's a strange reality in modern research, but are we using yesterday's methods for tomorrow's problems? Our absolute gold standard designs, things like small clinical trials and manual peer reviews, well, they were developed in an era where your primary tool was a literal pencil and paper. And hey, those methods are incredibly valuable. But when you're trying to analyze modern datasets that have millions of data points, using pencil and paper era methodologies is starting to look a bit absurd, isn't it? All right, section 1, the methodology mismatch. Pencils versus processors. If you try to just cram old methods into these incredible new AI tools, you're either going to massively underutilize the technology, or worse, you'll make claims that your methodology simply cannot support. It's kind of like the difference between writing a book by hand versus using a word processor. A word processor doesn't write the book for you, right? And it certainly doesn't magically make you a good author, but it fundamentally changes the game. It allows you to revise infinitely, reorganize massive sections instantly, and process feedback at lightning speed. You still absolutely have to write well, but the entire process is elevated. That is exactly what an AI-native methodology does. Moving right along to Section 2, AI-native paradigm shifts, a new way of knowing. We are talking about a deep philosophical shift in how we actually know what we know. AI-native research methodologies are approaches that were completely impossible before AI. They're built entirely around AI's computational power to expand the question space. So we're shifting from strictly manual, hypothesis-driven research to scale-driven pattern discovery. And that first major shift is absolutely crucial, moving from hypothesis confirmation to pattern discovery. Traditionally, you make an educated guess, your hypothesis, and then you test to confirm it. But with AI-native research, you can feed a massive data set to an algorithm and just let it discover completely unexpected patterns that human beings wouldn't even think to look for. It's basically the difference between looking for a specific needle you dropped versus letting a giant magnet pull up hidden treasure you didn't even know was buried in the haystack. AI also completely removes a classic, honestly frustrating constraint. Historically, you had to choose. Do you want depth? Great, do a deep dive with a few subjects. Do you want breadth? Okay, run a massive survey, but say goodbye to all that nuance. Well, AI breaks this trade-off. It enables us to analyze vast data sets without sacrificing qualitative understanding. We are finally achieving both deep and broad insights simultaneously. Which brings us to Section 3, 4 new methodologies. Let's look at the frontiers of discovery. Let's look at 4 specific frameworks revolutionizing your fields right now. First up, computational grounded theory. Think of a literature scholar studying how the concept of justice evolves over centuries. Traditionally, they could only carefully read a very limited number of books. Now, they use natural language processing to extract and map themes across thousands of texts over hundreds of years. The human still interprets what it all means, but the AI gives them the sweeping, unprecedented view of history.
Number 2 is AI-assisted ethnography. Imagine you're studying the culture of a massive global tech company. Traditionally, you might spend 6 months deeply immersed in one single local office. Today, you can combine that intense local observation with an AI analysis of the company's global digital traces, forums, chat logs, emails, the whole shebang. The AI spots the global trends, and the researcher grounds those findings in their rich local observations. Third, we have large-scale qualitative analysis. If a medical researcher is studying patient experiences with an illness, traditional methods might limit them to coding maybe 30 interviews by hand. But with AI assistance, they can analyze 5,000 patient narratives from online support groups. The AI categorizes recurring themes, like barriers to care, and the researcher interprets them. It's essentially empirically grounded empathy, but on a massive, massive scale. Fourth, and I think this is perhaps the most exciting, hypothesis-free discovery. Say a biologist has genetic data from 10,000 patients, but absolutely no strong guess about the mechanisms of their disease. They can literally just hand that raw data to an AI system to explore it. The AI might discover a completely unknown gene cluster that predicts treatment outcomes better than any current clinical variable we have. It is genuine, serendipitous discovery emerging directly from the data. No way we could do that manually.
So, what does this actually look like in practice? Notice the workflow here. Step 1, AI analyzes the massive data sets. Step 2, AI identifies the hidden themes. But look very closely at steps 3 and 4. The researcher strictly validates the findings, and the human handles the interpretation. The AI does the heavy lifting of pattern recognition for sure, but human judgment and domain expertise remain the absolute center of the research process. All right, let's pivot to section 4, the rigor requirement. Human in the loop. Putting my risk consultant hat fully on right now, we need to talk about the critical risks. Because adopting AI absolutely does not mean abandoning rigor. It requires more of it. I have to warn you to actively avoid these common pitfalls. A huge mistake is sacrificing rigor for scale. Furthermore, we must be deeply, deeply careful about misinterpreting computational noise. Remember, AI systems are known to hallucinate. We've all heard the horror stories by now, professionals submitting work with entirely fake AI-generated legal citations or fabricating completely bogus statistical trends. Just because an algorithm found a link or generated a smart-sounding quote does not make it real. You cannot hide behind the algorithm. You own the output. So how do we actually combat these risks? Well, professionals need a quick, strict mental checklist for evaluating task risk versus AI capability. We have to maintain rigor through systematic uncertainty quantification, meaning being completely explicit about what the AI doesn't know. We need built-in robustness testing, and most importantly, explicit transparency on automation. You must document exactly where the AI made a decision and exactly where the human took the wheel. And finally, Section 5, the future researcher, rethinking the questions. The quote here brilliantly captures our main takeaway from today's explainer. AI-native methodologies do not make research easier, they make it fundamentally different. You get to ask way bigger questions and access unfathomably larger data sets. But you also inherit a whole set of new challenges. The technology skills your reach, but the rigor, the critical thinking, and the ultimate responsibility, that rests entirely in your hands. It is all about carefully calibrating your AI judgment skills as a professional. I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Take a hard look at your own professional field, your own domain of expertise. What are the big questions you've always wanted to answer, but just couldn't because of the constraints of traditional methods? The boundaries of what is possible have just expanded dramatically. It's time to start asking bigger questions. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will see you next time.